Hey, what's up guys, Mr. HD here. I just want to thank you guys so much for helping me reach 2,000 subscribers. Thank you to all the recent subscribers helping me get to that milestone. This is just an awesome thing right now. Also gone over 400,000 views on my channel. That's also another milestone, which I'm so happy to receive. But you know, I couldn't do any of this without the support. The support just, kept me going and everything. And as you can see, my most viewed video right here has just ticked over to 18,000 views. It's cruising along. Like in the last month, it's getting like 4,000 views. It's crazy. It just keeps going up. But what you guys are here for is for the Q&A. So here's how the Q&A is going to go down. I'm just going to read off the questions, and those people who gave me those questions, if the questions are very similar, which you'll get the same answer from, I will have their name up on your YouTube name will be up on the screen, and that way I can get through it much more quicker, because I have quite a lot of questions to get through. And so I won't say your name, but it'll be up on the screen. But to keep you guys entertained, as well as seeing, the YouTube names on the screen, I have some plane spotting I did at London Heathrow, which it's not the best because I was using my DSLR in manual mode because there was so many things in front of me, not the aircraft, and so it would have just not have been that good. Would have been actually worse than what I'm going to show you, but I have an excuse. Basically, it was cold, using manual focus, as I said, and using the zoom ring, so it didn't come out that good, but it's I did a fairly good job, going between the three, or the two main things on the camera, using the focus and the zoom ring. So I did a fairly good job, but I won't be doing that again. And then also I've got some plane spotting from Auckland to keep you guys entertained. Okay, so now it's time to get into these questions. Okay, so the first two questions were actually sent to me through a message through YouTube or Facebook, so their name will not be on the screen. Okay, first question is, what is your favorite commercial aircraft? Favorite commercial aircraft is the 747. What different models do you have planned for the future? Basically anything that isn't released. There's a whole lot of 747s I want, and some older Air New Zealand aircraft that I want. Nothing really too specific, just more or less anything that hasn't been released. Have you ever been on a first class A380? No, I have not, but I'd like to fly on an A380 one day. What is your biggest model? That is the A380. I have unboxed a few of them. So, how did you get into reviewing models and plane spotting? Reviewing models, it was thanks to 777 Die Hard Forever. If I, didn't see any of his videos, or if he didn't actually post any, I probably wouldn't have even done any model reviews. So it's all thanks to 777 Die Hard Forever. And plane spotting, well, I've always been interested in aircraft, so I've always gone down to the airport, and I thought, why not? I've seen a lot of videos of that on YouTube as well, so I thought, why not? Why can't I give it a try? So I did that. What is your favourite aircraft and why? My favourite aircraft, 747, no doubt. It's always a great experience flying on it. My best experience have been flying on it, and it's just such an iconic aircraft that it's something you have to fly on in your lifetime, and it always makes me smile when I hop on a 747. What is your favourite airline and why? Of course, Air New Zealand, they're my national airline, my favourite airline. I want to work for them one day. Do you have any future travel plans, and would you review it? I do have future travel plans. I'm going to go to Melbourne, but I'm not sure if I would review it. It's a good suggestion, though. So I'll see when I get there. Then I'll make a decision if I were to do something like that. What is your favourite model? The New Zealand 747-400 in the Pacific Wave livery. For me, it just doesn't get any better. What is your favorite brand for models? JC Wings. They just add, a little more personalization for their models. So yeah. When you started your channel, did you think you'd grow so big? No, I hoped I did. This was, sort of thing. If I reach a stage, that'd be really cool. But I didn't actually, realistically, I didn't even think that I would actually reach this stage. So, no, I didn't. How many models do you own? I actually own 129 models, but 118 I own that are 1 to 200 scale die-cast models. So the others are just a mix of plastic models and smaller aircraft that I've or smaller scale aircraft that I've had since I was little. They've just kept. So yeah, you wouldn't have seen any unboxings of them. But yeah. If your future was written in a book, would you read it? I don't think I would, to be honest. Yeah, kind of like to leave things to chance. Have you ever travelled to any countries other than New Zealand? Which countries was, if yes, which countries was your favourite? I've also got a similar question. Which countries have you been to, and name the top 3? Well, I'm going to answer which countries have I been to? So, I've been to Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Cook Islands, Hawaii, if that counts as US, because some people don't. So I'm just going to say that. Then I've been to mainland US. I've been to Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, France, Spain, Austria, Germany, Switzerland, and Italy. Those are all the countries I've been to. I like to actually expand and go further out, and not just go to those countries. I like to explore Asia and Africa as well. Those are on my to-do list. So hopefully in a few years, I'll actually get to start ticking some places off that I haven't been to. So what were your top 3 countries? I would say the UK, because I've got family there and it's always a fun time going there. I would then say the USA. It's awesome there. I've always loved going there. And then Hong Kong, because they've got a really cool nightlife. Do you have any 1 to 400 scale model planes? I do. I have one, which I got as a present, as a Christmas present from EasyToys.com. The Alaska 737-800 split scimitar winglets in the Spirit of the Islands livery, which I also have 1 to 200 scale, which I reviewed, but I'm not going to review this one. Are you going to do subscriber routes when your airport is up? Yeah, I think I will. Will you do a collection review of all your models? Yes, in the future I will, but I have to find space to get them all out. What would be your dream in New Zealand fleet? Now this was a tricky question. I haven't got a full answer for it, but I can give you some idea. So I want a fleet of at least 200, mostly Boeing. So I want the 737 MAX, the new MAX aircraft, 777s as we got now, and the future 777s. 747-8 must have in the fleet. The 767s, yes, they can stay. They're awesome. I would like to also see A340-600s in the fleet, but obviously, seeing that they're phased out, but it'd still be part of my fleet. And I think that's pretty much it. So it's a mostly Boeing fleet, mostly large aircraft. So yeah, that's my dreamy New Zealand fleet. What planes do you want in 1 to 200 scale diecast that hasn't been made by any company? Basically anything that comes into Auckland, or other aircraft that I really like the Air New Zealand 747-200, Air New Zealand DCA and Solent, China Airlines A330-300, Air India aircraft like the 777s. Those are some aircraft I'd really like to see and have in 1 to 200 scale. What planes do you like the most and least? 747s, 777s, A340s, and my least favourite aircraft will probably be the A318 baby bus. Just not really a fan of it at all. How did you start your aviation career? Well, currently I don't have a career in aviation, but I'd love to. I'm working on that right now. Name all the airlines you have flown with. This is a good one. Not many actually. Mainly fly with Air New Zealand, because there are certain reasons why. But so Air New Zealand, I've flown on Southwest, Frontier, Delta, Alaska Airlines, Reno Air when they were still operating, United Airlines, and British Airways. Do you prefer Phoenix or Gemini? Gemini. How much do all of your models cost overall? I don't have the actual figure, but I'm guessing at least $4,000 US, which is quite a lot. Do you work in the aviation industry? No, I do not. What is your best advice for a new collector? That would be, it depends on cost, space, two main factors really, but cost being the ultimate factor. So if cost isn't an issue, but you think space might become an issue later on, it's really just personal preference. If you like more detailing on the model, definitely go for 1 to 200. If you're not fussed or you just want a place to put all of your models, definitely 1 400 or 1 500. But personally, I would suggest 1 to 200 scale. Maybe kind of biased here, but there are obviously a lot more detail, but they're they just seem to be worth more in the future. That's just what I think. But yeah, again, if cost is an issue, it's that being the ultimate factor. If it is, then go for the smaller scale aircraft. What do you look for when picking a model to purchase? It's whether it's flown into Auckland or I've flown on it. And if I really, really like the aircraft, if I'm interested in it, then I will buy it. So those are my main factors when purchasing a model. What is your favourite airplane manufacturer, Airbus or Boeing? Boeing for sure. Kind of what you would say a Boeing fanboy. Maybe, maybe not. Are you able to do a time-lapse video of every aircraft landing and taking off at Auckland Airport? That's a good suggestion, really. But I don't know if I'd do it at this point. May see it in the future. So I will definitely note these suggestions down. What are your thoughts on the runway extension and terminal expansion at Wellington Airport? I think it's a really good idea. They're going to get some larger aircraft in the future. I see not necessarily 777s, but I see mid-sized aircraft, so possibly 76s or A330s, those kind of aircraft. Definitely a good idea to extend the runway. Although they did land the empty 74 and an empty 777 there. And terminal expansion, definitely. There's been a notable increase in passenger numbers going through Wellington, so I definitely see them. I definitely say it's a really good thing for them to expand the runway and terminal. Favorite twin jet and why? Favorite twin jet 777, because such an awesome aircraft. Basically the replacement for the 747, although that's kind of sad to say, but they're an awesome aircraft. I've flown on them many times and they're always just a great aircraft to fly on, and the engines are the key for those 777s. Most powerful engines there is on a commercial aircraft, and the sound they make is really nice. Favorite tri-jet and why? MD-11. It looks so sleek, so nice. I was going to say DC-10, but the MD-11 just adds that slight more bit of elegance and beauty, just with those winglets, and it looks a little more sharper as well, and it catches the eye a lot better. And MD-11 was one of those aircrafts that I really, really want to fly on, and sadly I'm never going to get the chance because there's no commercial operators out there with the MD-11, or that have it in commercial operation. Favorite quad jet and why? 747, of course, Queen of the Skies, no doubt. My best experiences have been on the 747, so that's an easy choice for me, really. Is there anything that got you into aviation or planes in general, or have you just liked planes as long as you can remember? There was also a similar question: what inspired you to get involved with aviation? So, has anything got you into aviation, planes in general? Um, I guess my parents. It was ever since I was little, or as far as I can remember, I've always been into planes. But I would say because of them, they got me into aircraft, and that's I'm really thankful for that because it's a great pastime, going up to the airport and watching the planes. So that's pretty much it, really. It was my parents that you know made me like planes, and I've loved them ever since I can remember. How old are you, and what was your age when you started to buy those professional models? I don't know if some of you might be surprised when I say this, but I'm actually 19, and I was 17 when I actually bought my first 1 to 200 scale diecast model, so almost as long as my YouTube channel has been up. Do you intend to live in another country in the future? Not really, no. Especially if I get my dream job, I wouldn't want to leave at all. New Zealand just overall is a great place to live. I just love every part of it here. But if I did move, if there was a chance, I'd probably go to somewhere like England where my family is. Do you spend money only on the models, or do you have other hobbies? I have other hobbies. I play football or soccer, some of you might know, and tennis. So I spend a bit of money on those. I don't need to spend lots on those. But yeah, models is the main thing, which I spend my a lot of my money on. When did you say your collections, and how many do you have? About 2 years ago, I have 129 models, as I said before, and 118 of those are 1 to 200 scale diecast models. Out of Gemini Jets, Phoenix, JC Wings, and Inflight, which is the best mold in your opinion? Seeing that JC Wings and Gemini Jets use pretty much every mold together, they use the same mold, I would definitely go for them because their quality is just, awesome. Apart from the gear issue which I've had for the last few months, overall they still beat Phoenix and Inflight in my opinion. If you had to pick a model right now, which one would you pick and why? I would pick the Air New Zealand 747-400 Pacific Wave livery, no doubt, because it's a beautiful aircraft. It's my favourite aircraft and airline all in one, and my favourite livery. What is your favourite airport and why? Our favourite airport would be Los Angeles due to the variety and just the sheer number of aircraft there is daily in that airport. Just the constant activity, not like here at Auckland where you get you can get massive breaks, but it's mainly the variety which I really, really like. What camera do you use to film planes? Well, I used my DSLR before, but now I use let's see if I get the model number right. It's a Panasonic, and it shoots 4K and 50 frames per second and things like those. It's an HC WX, I think, 970M. So it's like the latest 4K camcorder from Panasonic, which is it's pretty cool. But its quality is so good. Are you going to do any flight reviews? Maybe that's another good suggestion actually. I of course just do those taking off and landing videos in flight, but flight reviews, that's a good idea. How much progress have you made on the airport? Well, here you go. As you can see, I haven't finished gluing down one of the terminals yet, but I've got to do all the gates. The gates are the worst bit because they're so small and they take the longest time to do, probably about 10 times longer than the actual terminal. And then I've got to do another terminal with more gates, so I wouldn't even say I'm a quarter of the way there in terms of what needs to be done. But it will get done, hopefully, in a couple months or few months. What's your best flying experience? Melbourne to Auckland on a 747-400 of Air New Zealand. It was scheduled to be a 777-300ER, but for that day, just so happened that when we were leaving Melbourne, this was 2 years ago in 2014, leaving from the Australian Open, just so happened to be that the day we were flying out was going to be on a 747, and thanks to someone we know, they put us up top. So it was my first and last ever 747 flight on the top deck. And it was just, even for a 3 hour flight or 3.5 hour flight, whatever it was such a great experience. And it's something I'll never forget. If you lived in America, what airline would you fly with? Based on what's your favourite American carrier by specs, experience, fleet, and livery? Probably United, really. They got the best fleet in my mind. Experience, flown with them once, I don't really remember it. I know it was 747 though, from London to San Francisco. Based on what I know right now, it's definitely United. How much do you pay for your models when you buy them? It can range anywhere between $60 and $130. So you could pay about maybe 70 for the 737s and 130 for the A380s, and sometimes even 747-8s. What is your favourite model that you recommend? Favourite model that I would recommend would be definitely I keep saying it, Air New Zealand 747-400 in the Pacific Wave livery, but one that's still that you can still find, actually, because they're sold out. I would definitely recommend any of the 747s, like the China Airlines one that I've got. That's a really nice aircraft. Also recommend any of the British Airways, the 787-9, which I just did. I would say the Singapore Airlines A340-500, but probably might find it really difficult to find one of those now. I don't really have a favourite that I could recommend that would still be available. How long have you been collecting? I have been collecting since I was about 3. I obviously don't remember that, but I got my first model when I was 3. But I've been collecting these 1 to 200 scale aircraft for 2 years now. What aircraft that you haven't flown on would you like to fly on? And what airport that you haven't spotted at would you like to spot at? So aircraft that I haven't flown on which I'd like to fly on, 747-8 and A380. And what airport haven't you spotted at which you would like to spot at? That would be Los Angeles. Where were you when you recorded the plane spotting of the recent planes at Auckland? So there was about 8 videos, 8 different videos of planes landing and taking off at Auckland. That was at the domestic terminal car park at the top level. What model that hasn't been done by any of the manufacturers is on your wish list? I'd say all those classic Air New Zealand aircraft. They're always been at the top of my list. Basically anything that comes into Auckland that hasn't been made, at the top of my list as well. Am I mad for not wanting to buy another model unless it has dual landing lights, i.e. the recent JC Wing 747 releases? I wouldn't say you're mad, but you're expecting something that could be a very long way away. Because seeing that the 747s are the only ones that have the dual landing lights on them, I don't see it as a smart thing, because you might miss out, on an aircraft that you really like just because it doesn't have the dual landing lights. So I don't think you're mad, but I think if you really like a model, just go and get it, because you may never have a chance in the future to get it. And just because there are dual landing lights doesn't mean that the rest of the model is going to come out with them anytime soon. If you were to bring back any deceased airline, which would you choose? Probably choose Pan Am. Really, they were a world figure, the airline industry, and I never actually got to see them fly, so I'd really like to see them, fly. What would be your dream model that hasn't been made by any manufacturer? 747-8 of Lufthansa. It hasn't been released yet. By the time this goes out, it will be released soon, but not yet. So I'm going to say that. What do you do with your models after you've made a video for it? I like to display them, but if I can't display them, which unfortunately I can't with a lot of my models, I put them back in their box, and then I put them in another box with a few other models, and I store them away in a very safe place, so they will not get damaged or anything. And I really don't want to do that because I'd like to have them on display, but I just don't have the space at the moment. Would you ever make an Instagram? I might consider it, but I'm not sure at this point. Something I can think about, then I can announce in the future. Can we see your face? No. Maybe in the future on my YouTube channel, but no. Do you keep the boxes the models come in? For sure. The boxes are just a part of collecting, because they're worth quite a lot, and also if you do sell them, how you're gonna store them safely to ship if the original box, because the original box is made for the model. Do you display them all, or do you put them back in the box for security? As I said before, I have to put some back in the box because I do not have the space, so it is kind of for security, and I do store them in a safe place. Have you ever modified any of your models by adding realistic weathering or adding black paint to control surfaces to make them stand out? No, I have not done any of that. I have tried touching up some of my models, some defects, paint chips and things like those, but no, I haven't done actual modifications like that. But that's a good suggestion. I can think about doing that. What is your favorite American airline? United Airlines. How do you get all the models? How do I get them? I mean, I use online retailers like Easy Toys or Jetway Models, and yeah, they just get them shipped to me. So that is going to be it for this Q&A, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope I answered your questions to your satisfaction. But once again, thank you so much for 2,000 subscribers. Done it by the end of 2015, which is awesome. So I can't thank you guys enough. And I wish you guys all the best for the new year, for 2016. Hope you guys have a great 2016. I'll be back then with my first 2016 video sometime in January maybe. This is going to be it for me in 2015. I'll see you guys next year, and this is Midget HD signing out.